Network Entertainment.
Hi everyone, I'm Pia Ontiveros. This is Let's Talk. It's powered by Pod Network. Let's Talk is where we unpack things, unbox, if you will, take things apart, explain and expound, and go through every little detail. Now, this episode is all about the Foreign Service, the Philippine Foreign Service. It's one of the more challenging in public service. It takes you to many places, literally and figuratively. I met or met my guest on the podcast at the moment, today, our ambassador to Cambodia, Ambassador Flerida Ann Camille Puzon Mayo, haba ng pangalan, but her nickname is Tata, Ambassador Tata Mayo. A few weeks ago, because I did a media training for the Department of Foreign Affairs, it was organized by in cooperation with the Public Relations Society of the Philippines, or PRSP, and Cinematica. And Ambassador Mayo, Ambassador or Amba in the Foreign Service, we call them by Amba. Amba Mayo was in Zoom attendance. So we did a mock interview, and I was fascinated by what she was like. And the line she said that stuck with me was, and I quote, "I entered the Foreign Service under a Marcos, and I am leaving under a Marcos." And at the time, I said, I think I'd like to spend a little more time with her and speak with her. And so I said, I need to invite her to my podcast. And then I would call it 40 plus years in the front lines of the Philippine Foreign Service. And of course, like I said, my guest is Ambassador or Amba Tata Mayo. Hi, in Cambodia. Hi, Ambassador Amba Tata. Thank you very much for being with us.
Always a pleasure, Pia. I'm so happy to be given this opportunity to connect with your, I'm told, very young audience.
Yeah, very young audience, much younger than even me. But so Amba, ito naman, like, di ba, I said, hindi naman policy yung pag-uusapan natin. Ang gusto ko talaga yung storytelling, no? Let's tell stories. You tell us your stories, what it's like in the front lines, like I said, of the Philippine Foreign Service. And I'm sure these are varied and numerous. And I'm sure magaganda yung mga storya na yan. But I want to start first with, to ask you this question. How did you get into the Foreign Service? No, what brought you to the Department of Foreign Affairs?
You know, it started with my father asking me this question, the usual, what would you like to be when you grow up? And I told him, because he was a pilot, no, commercial pilot, I told him that I wanted to be a flight attendant. And then he looked at me very solemnly and he said to me, why don't you become an ambassador instead? So I said,
Okay.
ambassador. But I didn't know what it meant, right? So I promptly forgot the whole thing. And in university, Pia, and this was very providential, I applied to the Com Arts department. I wanted to be a journalist. Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
And then this is where it becomes really providential. I failed the interview, Pia. So
Okay.
I was downcast and I went to the ladies' room and I was, now thinking, oh my God, where would I go? And then I heard two ladies talking about, or I think they were alumna, no? So they were like brushing their hair and they were talking about, so where are you working now? And blah, blah, blah. And then one said, I'm working for the embassy of X country. And I go, embassy. And they said, what was your course? She said, Asian studies. So immediately I packed my things and then I went to Polisay, no?
Uh-huh.
And I guess the rest is, as they
History.
say.
History. Wow. Grabe.
Uh,
You wanted to be a journalist, but you ended up an ambassador. And well, this episode is about you, but I just wanted to make kwento lang, which I told you earlier. I worked in the Department of Foreign Affairs for just 3 to 4 months in the Office of the Secretary in 1989. But I really wanted to be a journalist. So it's interesting that we're talking
diba?
now. This is fascinating because I didn't know this yet about you. Wow, muntik na ha, muntik na
Di ba?
journalism. And how nice ha, your dad asked you sa flight instead of flight attendant, ambassador. And his words were prophetic pala. So that's how it
Mm-mm.
happened. Okay. So of course I got a parang your CV and then a backgrounder on you. And syempre halos lahat naman ng ambassador ganon ano. Ang dami yung what's called in the DFA FA foreign assignment. So you've
Mm-mm.
been through so many, like what, 4 or 5 countries.
Mm.
I know it's hard to talk about all those countries, but can't you say it in like 1 minute, like I don't know, 1 2 minutes? What was it like? Different foreign assignments, different postings.
Well, I guess this is where you form a broader worldview, I'd say, no? So that I think the foreign service is really life changing. Now, let me talk about my first assignment as an officer,
Mhm.
no? And this is where I always say that career actually became vocation,
Mhm.
because of the nature of our work there really was consular and assistance to nationals cases. So there was this one particular case that I will never forget. No, as vice consul, I handle gender sensitive cases, and that means rape, sexual harassment, and all those things. So there was this um, case of a very young girl. She was bright and beautiful, and looked so promising. But she worked as a domestic helper, and she was raped 5 times by her employer. And at that point, actually suicidal. So we were also on suicide watch for her. Now, when the case was finally brought to court, and this I can tell you, Hong Kong is one of those places where justice is blind. And so we had, it kind of felt good to be there because that our nationals would have the protection of the law. Anyway, so she was on the stand and she was giving her testimony. And mind you, Pia, when you hear the testimony in our own language, it can make your blood boil. I mean, it's really mas ganyan, it really angers you. Anyway, she was giving her testimony and she was breaking down. Yeah. So the judge, seeing her state, said, "Okay, we'll have a recess," and then I think she asked for, and we were there, not the stands, and I took her to the ladies' room,
Mhm.
to calm her down, to console her, and to give a pep talk. And so we were on the floor, and I can never forget this because I was hugging her
Mhm.
and comforting her doing this, and sige na, kailangan natin tapusin and all that, no? The pep talk. But she was crying buckets, really, literally, no? Buckets. So by the time na tahan na, ganyan. By the time she composed herself. So we got up and the two of us, no kidding, we were drenched in her tears. And that was really for me the
Life
you
change.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, the point
Wow.
where I said, wow, you
Wow.
know, this is not just a career. And the actual well our duty to protect our Filipinos just really hits you so hard that it's very serious. No, it can be really serious. So anyway, we brought her back to the stand, and she was able to complete her testimony. And yeah, in beginning, no, kasi 5 counts, no, 5 counts. First count, how does a jury define the defendant? Not guilty. So
Mhm.
like, and then second count, not guilty. Hala. So you were ready to like jump. I was ready to run to her. And then third, fourth, fifth counts. Okay, not guilty. So that man was put behind bars. So, uh, and the other posts, it varies, like in Hong Kong, because of the profile of our community. Kami sa embassy, sa consulate, we were like ate kuya to
Mm.
the community. And when I moved to Sweden, where the most Filipinos were spouses, no? Our spouses of Swedes, ano na kami, iba yung level din, iba yung engagement, like more like partners, and so we did many projects together and so on. Even in Canada, ganun na. So yeah, every post is different, is what my boss used to say. Iba-iba yan. There is no
No two posts are alike. Huh?
no two posts are
Mm.
alike. Although we have templates for doing things, iba, you
Mm.
have to really adapt to the culture and the
Mm.
system there.
Well, when I was writing the intro for this, and then I was trying to explain why I wanted to do this, and I used the word fascinating. No, it's still
Mm.
fascinating, but it's also it can be very heartbreaking. Then, no, when you have to
True.
deal with things like that, and no, it really struck me, kanina, when you said na you were both drenched in her tears, and
So yeah.
I mean, wow, and then when you say um, it's not just a career, it's a vocation, which is, well, how many of us in journalism feel also about journalism.
Mm.
So it's not just
Mm.
a job, no, it's really
Mm. Mm.
talagang how, wow, it's anyway. I'm just I keep saying wow. I know wow sounds so, ano ba naman yan, bakit naman wow, pero wow, just wow, I mean, but I can imagine what your the rest of your posts were like.
Mm.
They must have been equally, I don't know, draining, but at the same time invigorating,
Fulfilling.
siguro,
Yeah.
fulfilling. Diba? When you, I guess, ganon, no, Amba, when you love what you do, it's not a job,
Mm.
no, it really is vocation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know I sent these bullet points to you, and I was going to ask you for anecdotes, moments, low moments, happy moments, light moments,
Mm.
etc. And I know it's a bit hard to do that, after having talked about what happened to that young Filipina in Hong Kong. But is that something that you can share still with us? Were there other moments in your 40, well, by next year, 44 years in the
Mm.
service?
Mm-mm. Well, yeah. Alam mo, there are two, I guess, yung overseas Filipinos, very, very close to our hearts, of course.
Mm.
Pati rin ang mga seafarers. Yeah.
Mm.
Ibang
Yes.
klase din yung seafarers. You know what they go through. So when
Mm-hmm.
they say, isang paa sa hukay, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually true pala, no? Whenever they board their ships, no? So there was this case of a cargo ship that capsized in the icy waters of Bergen in Norway, no? And yeah, talagang when you hear the
Mm.
stories of the survivors, nakakakilabot din. And some of them, um, nakakatuwa yun how they survive, what they did, to survive the accident. So like meron daw one of them, one of the crew. So the boat was listing already. The
Mm-hmm.
ship was listing like this. So the others nakaganon na daw sila sa wherever they were doon, na nakasabit na lang sila sa edge. So this crew member, he waited for the boat to to turn like this.
Mm-hmm.
So pag ganun daw, pag hinabol niya, ganyan. So he landed doon sa ano ba yan, sa hull, ganyan. So nandun siya and he was dry. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
else was in the water and siya lang yung and then meron mga kwento na, pare, bakit mo hinila yung pa ako? They were like swimming to the surface, no?
Mm-hmm.
So nakaka really moving yung kanilang stories, and then yung survivor's guilt because they were bringing the insurer, the shipping company, they were bringing all the next of kin to Norway. And sabi nga nila, how can we even face them? Kasi sisitahin sila, yun, pare, ba't mo pinabayaan yung kumpare mo, mga ganyan.
Oh
So,
gosh.
ganun, yeah. And then, but here's the good part, no? Maraming nationalities yon. There were Germans and I think Dutch, no? Tapos they were looking at how our Filipinos were being taken care of. We mobilized the community. You know, yung walang winter clothes, no? Nagpadala boxes and boxes of winter garments and boots ang Filipino community, and then they helped cater, no, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, comfort food, Filipino food, adobo and all. So kita ng mga iba, and then we were there as fast as we can. Kami coming from Sweden pa kami, no, pero nandun kami I think that night, that the following morning, no, and to deliver na yung mga services namin, travel documents, ganyan, no? Nakikita nasa isang room lang kami, sabi naman nung I think it was the Dutch who said, yeah, pag kumain ba kami ng kanin, pwede na kaming Pilipino? Parang ganyan. Kasi yung isa naman, I will not say from where, sabi na, isipin mo kami, yun nalaman ng namin, ng consulate namin, nandito kami, at nag-apply kami ng pasaporte, pinadalhan kami, at siningil pa. Ganyan, sama loob. So they admired how Filipinos come together, you know, in times of great distress, that we help one another. And that, you know, government is there to provide needed services. So I think, yan mga namin, yan, unforgettable experiences among many.
Yeah, among many, and that's just three ba? Dalawa pa lang yan.
Yeah,
Wow.
dalawa pa lang.
Yeah, so we would need like siguro 5 more episodes of this podcast para ma-cover lahat ng kwento. But all those stories are, wow, just what talagang really fascinating. And
True.
I cannot
Meron, okay,
imagine.
just to add,
Oh,
no, kasi
yes.
ayun na yung isang nakakalungkot. There was another accident, no? Another cargo ship. Ito, yung namatay, nakakalungkot how he died. Kasi it was his last trip daw.
Oh gosh.
So, yung when they sounded the alarm and everyone had to go somewhere, assemble somewhere, he ran back to his cabin to get his savings.
Oh gosh.
So, and then kasi meron silang safety gear, di ba? I think dahil nagmadali siya, he forgot to zip it up all the way, no? So, punta na sila sa water, I think he died of hypothermia.
Oh my gosh.
And then kami nasa amin yun kasi there's such a thing as what do you call that service, conservation of estate. So we make an inventory of everything they have,
including yung savings niya.
Yeah, and then he's funny. Yung alam mo yung euro niya, I mga sabi mo 2,000. So they were all wet and we had to count them one by one, make sure that everything will be sent back to his family. Everything that he owned will be sent back.
Sa 100 tanong, meron akong 1,000,000 sagot at minsan mas marami pang tanong. This is Kuya Kim and I'm thrilled to invite you to my podcast under the Pod Network, Ano Ba Talaga? With me, Kuya Kim Atienza, also powered by Memo Plus Gold. Kung may gusto kayong malaman, matutunan o madiscover na bago, makinig na kayo sa podcast na to. Marami akong mga guests, topics, trivia, and revelations on this show. Ang masisiguro ko sa inyo, you'll always learn something new. Just search for Ano Ba Talaga with me, Kuya Kim Atienza, on Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Sana siya yung umuwi, hindi yung na-save niya. Sana.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Mm-mm.
Oh my,
Yeah.
the things you have to deal with as a diplomat. Just go. Um, I'm sure through this podcast you might remember something else. So it's okay.
Sure.
Anytime you can bring up any other story. The next question I was going to ask you, which had in a way been answered already earlier. I was going to ask you kasi if you had not been a journalist, what would you be or what would you have been? And then you had said nga na dati, nung bata ka, nung bata kayo,
Yeah.
gusto nyo maging flight attendant and then
Yes.
journalist in college, parang ganon. But now, on hindsight, yung
Yes.
after everything you've been
Yes.
through, after all your
Yes.
experiences where you were able to help people, where, that young Filipina girl in Hong Kong, if you hadn't been around, what would have happened kaya to her, di ba? So, would you still have wanted to be a diplomat? Kasi earlier you said, hindi lang siya career vocation. So,
Yeah.
kumaga, if you could have chosen again, ito pa rin ang buhay na
Yes, I do
pipiliin.
it all over again, no doubt about
Wow.
it. But okay.
Okay.
That said, no, I have no regrets. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I love this job. I mean, how many people can uh, okay, but meron akong kinukwento sa mga ano ko sa staff ko that I actually look forward to going to the office. Ganon. And not everybody can say the same thing, right? I had the boss who told me that, if you have to drag yourself to the office, maybe you're probably in the wrong place. No, but that makes me feel, yeah, I'm in the right place. So, but if I, if sabihin ni God, okay, accept this, what else would you like to do? Ballet dancer.
Talaga, ballet. You, you took ballet
Why not?
lessons before.
Yes, when I was very little girl. Yeah, I don't
Oh.
know. Something
Ballet,
about
ballet
it.
talaga.
Oh, yeah. Diba yung
Yeah.
expressing
Oo.
yourself through dance.
Through
I think that's
dance.
really beautiful. I think it's also beautiful, no?
Oh. Ako, I always wanted to be with a bayanihan.
Oh, see?
But,
See?
ay, naku, ang daming
Oh, I love them.
parallels.
Yeah, Ramon Ubusan,
Ramon
yes.
Ubusan po. Wow, okay. So, ballet dancer. So, instead of ambassador, pwedeng prima ballerina. Parang ganon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only
okay.
if, I was not maybe made to be a diplomat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tamang-tama when you talk about having wanted to be a ballet dancer, because my next question would be about, what are you interested in, hobbies, passions, yung mga side things that you like to do on the side, things that make you happy, things that bring you joy outside, above and beyond your work as a diplomat.
Well, I guess you'd assume that diplomats are, outgoing and all that. I'm actually
An
introverted.
introvert.
Yeah,
Ay, nako. Okay.
really. So yeah, I like baking, huh? And yeah, watching movies. Yun, simple things lang, simple joys talaga. Really.
Okay.
I love spending time with my husband and my kids.
Wait, movies muna. What are your favorite movies?
Wag lang horror.
Pareho lang tayo.
That's the thing. That's the interesting thing about this country. Sila talaga pag when you go to the cinemas, puro horror. I was asking them, why is that? They like the thrill, though.
Oh, okay. But what are your favorite? Okay, do you have a favorite Filipino movie, for example, or
Well,
Western?
the most recent one that I saw was Green Bones. I liked it.
Oh, okay.
I liked it.
All right. And baking, what do you bake? What do you?
Chocolate cake, cheesecake, yeah. Cookies.
Okay. What keeps you sane naman? Yon, baking, movies, spending time with your husband and children.
Morning prayers.
Oh, okay.
And my kids and my husband, yes.
Yeah. And they're there with you, right? And your
No, my
husband.
husband.
Your husband. Your husband is was a diplomat.
He retired early to join me here.
So wait, all throughout, so diplomat din siya, all throughout when you would have your foreign assignments, you'd be assigned somewhere, he would be somewhere else. Ganun ba yon?
No,
Or
we were always
always
together.
together?
If you
Okay.
can if you can imagine this, 24/7.
Ah,
So office mates and then pag uwi, still there, right? So
ah,
24/7 we got accustomed to that kind of arrangement. And I
oh.
think it worked well because tag team and all. And sometimes, we had meetings and we would have opposing positions. No.
Trabaho lang, walang personalan.
Trabaho lang. Walang person.
Okay. And then you have two children, two adult children.
Yes. My son majored in human rights and conflict studies, Magna.
Wow.
No? But he refuses to take the foreign service exam. And what he loves to do, he works for a local government in Canada. What he really loves to do and what he spends a lot of time on is improv. He loves improv and stand-up comedy. He loves
Oh.
the stage. Walang stage fright. I don't
Oh.
know where he got that from. And then my daughter,
Wait,
my daughter,
and
go
that's the
ahead.
son of an introvert, huh?
Yeah.
Loves the stage.
Diba?
Galing. Okay, and then your
Yeah,
daughter.
performing artist.
Yeah.
And then my daughter is a fierce feminist, hala,
Mhm.
and also an artist. Very
Mhm.
proud of her.
How old
She
are
she
they?
takes
How old are they?
other adults
Uh-huh.
in their 30s, early 30s.
Okay, so your son is in Canada, your daughter is
Also in Canada, they're
ah
together. Oh,
okay.
when we were talking about how is how does it you know how does it feel like for the children? It's very hard because you uproot them
Mm.
every so often, right? um, so I
How
don't miss
often is every so
so
often like
6 years out, 3 years in, di ba?
mhm.
So then, and they're third culture kids. Ang ano ko nga, when I was watching them grow, hi, yeah, when they're in the Philippines, they're different.
Mm.
They have accents, and then iba yung ano nga, yung worldview and or nagiging ugali, right? Because
Mhm.
they pick up cultures, eh. And then when they're abroad, they're also different because they're not native to wherever we were assigned. So
Mhm.
and then they lose their friends, every what, 6 years. And I don't know if they have commitment issues.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I tell them, okay, now we're here, kaka-assign lang. So make friends already. And sometimes they would tell me, whatever for. We're going
Oh,
to,
yeah.
yeah,
We're gonna lose
something
them
like,
anyway. We're going to move. Oh my.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so the longest you've been in a post is 6 years, or no,
Mm,
3. Parang
six,
six.
6 years.
Mm.
Sometimes we move like in one tour of duty, which is 6 years. Sometimes we get cross-posted.
Okay.
Sometimes we stay for the entire six
Okay. When
years.
you say cross-posted, you mean?
Mm. Meaning, so it's fixed, no? 6 years abroad. Sometimes we spend 3 years, two in one post, and then get transferred to another.
Mhm.
Lalo na ngayon, I mean, we have this policy where if you are in a hardship post, wag naman 6 years ka doon, di ba? So
Yeah.
you're given priority
Hardship
to
post meaning what country? Yung may gera, yung mga ganon.
padami yan, di ba? Kung may gera.
Yeah. Libya.
Sometimes, yun, like, this is a hardship post and it's for the lack of medical facilities that are, you know, international standards. Yung mga ganyan. Or walang school na maganda doon.
Mm.
That's how I think hardship posts are determined. I think for me, very basic. If you cannot bring your family, hardship post yan.
Mhm.
Diba?
But that never happened to you. You were always able to bring them.
Last posting hardship. Kung kailan, yeah.
But both your children were born in the Philippines or
Yeah.
or abroad. Ah, okay.
Well, yung first posting ko kasi, that's when I started my family. I really made it a point to go home because I knew I would look for my mother, no, for the first baby. So the first baby was born in the Philippines. The second baby, alam ko na how it felt. So yeah, sa Greece naman, sa Greece.
Okay. Like I said in the introduction, I said na that one line you said really struck me when you said, I entered under a Marcos and I'm retiring under another Marcos. And then, of course, because that's father and son. But not only that, dahil that's when I realized, oh my God, she's been in foreign service for 40 plus years. So it's by next year when you retire, and which month is that, by the way? That would be
That's in
44
July.
years
Yeah.
in July. 44.
No.
Ah,
Yeah, 44 years.
oh,
July.
44 years. And that's because you retired at the age of 65.
Right, mandatory yan.
Yeah, of course, but you don't look 65 at all. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But so I was thinking, wow, 40 something years. And then, I mean, if you were going to describe it, is it possible to describe it, to describe those 44 years in one word or one
Okay.
sentence? No.
Off the top of my head, fulfilling.
Fulfilling.
44 fulfilling years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel parang emotional about it na parang,
Yes.
no? Yes.
Yes.
Separation
Like, because-
anxiety coming in.
Well, no, it's just the idea that we are ending a chapter. Yeah. Diba? Yun lang naman. I think if I'm thinking about how attached I am, no, I think we're ready to pass on the torch, the baton, to the
Baton.
next,
Yeah,
to
to the next.
baton, to the next generation. It's about time that we also allow them to grow. Yeah.
Oo. I remember that was one of the lines that also struck me that you said during that media training for the Department of Foreign Affairs, and you said, "Na I'm so proud of this new generation, the young people at the DFA."
Yeah, well, yes. I see a lot of promising officers, yung mga rising stars. The thing is, I hope that they are learning a lot from their mentors, because me, I am the sum of the wisdom and the coaching of my own mentors. Yeah, and madami yan.
Who
44
are they?
years.
Who are your mentors?
Okay. I don't know if you know them, maybe not.
I might know them.
Yeah. Okay. Jose Fernandez, Felicidad Gonzalez, Ofelia Castaño, Farita Cabasor. Ito yung mga old, no? Yung mga, yeah, my DFA giant. Samuel Ramel. Yeah. Who is,
I remember him.
Samuel Ramel?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess of all my mentors, meron siya, I think he made a huge impact also on me. When after cadetship, I went to him. I said, "Sir, where do you think I should go for my first foreign assignment as FSO?" And then he said to me, "You go where you can make a difference." And that's how it's been for me. Every assignment, I keep that in mind, to make a difference. That is the mission.
So next year, you retire in July, so July 2026. And next year is also when, am I right, Philippines chairs ASEAN.
Right, yes.
But that's before you retire.
No, we assume chairship in January, this coming January.
Okay, so before you retire, chairman ng ang Pilipinas sa ASEAN. Okay.
So midway, I guess. Midway. I retire.
Okay. So this would be like parang the last big project, if you can call it that, last big project or event in a way.
Yeah, I guess so. But okay, as ambassador, we take care of bilateral relations naman. Of course, ASEAN is a huge part of that, especially Cambodia is a fellow member. Yeah, so there will be, I think expectations, no, from the Philippine Embassy as chair.
Okay. Um, for those who are listening right now, is young people, super young people, who might be thinking about what should I do? What career can I consider? And if they were listening to you now and they would tell themselves, parang baka gusto kong maging parang si Ambassador Mayo, parang gusto kong maging ambassador. What kind of advice would you give them? What would you tell them?
Okay. Well, okay. First, yeah, I'd like to encourage all the audience, no, sabi nyo, and I was told that they're very critical. They could be very critical, no, especially of government. So yes, please, huh? Do your part. Join government, okay? Because things are not what they seem. I mean, there are civil servants who are actually trying their best, yeah, to deliver for the nation. So yes, yeah, why don't you come and contribute? Diba? Do your part. And if you're going to do that, empathy is, lalo na sa foreign service, is, I think, an essential ingredient of serving. And my other boss, si Victoria Bataclan, I don't know if you know, Vicky
Yes.
Bataclan.
Yes.
So siya yung nag-ano sa akin, 3 C's yan for foreign service officers. Competence, character, commitment. When you take the exam, diba, and you pass it, competence is assumed. Right? So I don't know. Siguro naman, yeah. Kasi nasabihin ka na nga eh. Diba? So yung susunod, character. Oo. So I don't know if that's something you can teach. Pero integrity, yeah. Siyempre, importante yan for us in the career service. Maybe I think the hardest, and she said this, maybe the most difficult of the three would be commitment. Diba? So yun. How committed are you to giving halos na the best years of your life to the service? So yeah, the 3 C's. If you have it, come join us.
Ambassador Flerida and Camille Puzon Mayo, or Amba Tata Mayo, our ambassador to Cambodia, retiring middle of next year after 44 years of service, or 44 years on the front lines of the Philippine Foreign Service. Ma'am Amba Tata, thank you very much for being joining us on this podcast. And also thank you for your public service, for your service to the country. Maraming salamat po. And thank you also to our viewers and our audience, viewers and listeners who are watching and listening to Let's Talk with Beyond Ferris. Ma'am, baka you have any final words if you want to say something pa?
I think I mentioned this during the training, no? I guess at the end of our career, our vocation, I mean, especially, I'm speaking for myself now, that I am just so grateful for the honor of serving God, country, and people. So, maraming salamat for again this opportunity to share no, our experiences and the lessons we learned in the DFA front lines.
The front lines of the Philippine Foreign Service. Ma'am, again, thank you. Dahil pumayag po kayo mag-guest dito. Thank you for your service. And thank you for all those stories you told us. And I'm sure there are many, many more. So, pwede pa siya sa future episodes.
And not just me, I'm sure my colleagues, kanya-kanya.
Yeah. Pwede ko isa-isahin lahat. Maraming storya yan. Ang ganda. Pero ang ganda ng mga storya. Ma'am, salamat po. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Maraming salamat.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.